Right, welcome to this unique video for the channel. I thought I'd make a video on this one. It's an exciting project I'm working on. A small project, but hopefully a big impact. And it's to do with my Blood Angels army. Just to forewarn you, I've filmed a good few games with the Blood Angels recently, trying out an updated list. And then after that battlefield experience of playing the games, sort of started to develop another list, sort of getting ahead here. But I'm planning to adjust the list again. I haven't given up with the Blood Angels. I want to see them do well, and then see if this modified list further down the line will do better. And to do that, there's a couple of new units I need to add. One of them is a unit that's not really available from Games Workshop, so I've scratch built and made it myself. It's a popular choice, and that is the captain with a jump pack for the Blood Angels. You can some different stratagems and combinations you can use to make a very good HQ unit for pretty good points cost. So I'll talk a little about the reason why I've made the model, and then I'm going to zoom in, show you the model, and then show you how to make one yourself as well. If you like the way the models come out, then I'll show you how I made it. At this stage I haven't painted yet. I've constructed it, finished it off, I've done the base, and then I'll zoom in here, give you a chance to see how it's been constructed before I actually come around to painting the model. The first people to see this project are those on Instagram. So if you're not on Instagram yet, just look up Striking Scorpion 82 and you'll get sneak peeks, especially if sort of Instagram's great for visual stuff, so you'll see images of different projects I'm working on, different painting projects and so on. And so I'm going to put pictures on Instagram here as I make progress all the way up to the finished unit here for this Blood Angels captain. And he's going to help me fulfill a new or a developing strategy that I have for the Blood Angels, which I'll cover on the Plus channel. I'm going to put together a new army development video for the Blood Angels, which may come as a surprise. I've recently been working on them, but I'm going to go back to Blood Angels. So I want to see them do well. They're a faction that people are saying aren't doing too well at the moment, so I want to try and make a fresh effort on them and try and make them a decent force. And to do that, I have a certain plan to try and make them good, and one of the key HQs will be the Smash Captain, as he's been nicknamed. So just very briefly, just look at the rules here, just to show you why I put the model together, why I think he's going to be pretty important linchpin in this Blood Angels army. So you're just taking your standard Blood Angels captain, which is here. So I mean, I'll do the full rules for this when I do a tactical video. But you've got a decent stat line for the captain, 4 attacks. There he's on 2s to hit and so on. And then it's Thunderhammer, Storm Shield is the equipment to give him nice 3+ invuln save, and the Thunderhammer to give him tons of damage potential. You know, 3 damage a time coming through, and so on. Nice high strength for the Thunderhammer, so I think that's one of the best options. This is just this combination that a lot of Blood Angels players are saying is very good. An invuln save anyway with the Iron Halo, but a 3+ invuln save for the Storm Shield would be great. And you give him the jump pack, pay for that to make him be able to move around the table quickly, or to deep strike in is a great option as well, so that's what I've done. You'll see that the way I've modelled the captain in just a moment. And then for Blood Angels, you can make him a lot better than what the other Space Marine chapters have, just through some various combinations you can go for. So there's a number of things you can do. First is you can give him play this stratagem here, Death Visions of Slamguinius. Use the stratagem when mustering your army. Select a Blood Angels captain, chaplain or lieutenant from your army, other than Primaris and other than named characters. That model gains the Death Company keyword and the Black Rage ability as well. So we go to Black Rage here. Add 1 to this unit's attacks characteristic for the duration of the fight phase if it charged. So now he's got 4 attacks, 5 attacks on the charge. So you're pushing up the number of attacks. That's a very reliable amount of hits come through. 2s to hit is very reliable. And then even with the Thunderhammer, -1 to hit, 3s to hit, still good. And then he's a captain as well, bear in mind. So he gets to reroll 1s. Yep, him and units within 6. So either 2s to hit reroll 1s, 3s to hit reroll 1s, still good. And then he also gets 6+ ignoring wounds that come through as well. So there's that benefit you can play, just for one command point to use that stratagem. Then there is also add another one here. Yes, here, Red Rampage. Again, one command point. Use your stratagem in any fight phase. Add D3 to attacks characteristic of Blood Angel's character from your army that charged earlier in the turn. The duration of the fight phase. So again, you've got to charge, but another D3 attacks. Now you're looking at 5 attacks on a charge plus D3. So you're between 6 and 8 attacks. All of a sudden, that character can dish out a whole lot of hits. And he's, 3 damage a time. It's a Thunderhammer, -3. You're looking at the possibilities of smashing a tank to pieces in one round of combat. I think that's very, very impressive. So that's the main rules benefits. There's some others actually. This is the whole stack of benefits that you can grant. The other benefits have to do with warlord traits if you make him the warlord, and also relics as well. So there's 2 here. I might try both. First one's Hammer of Bow. It's your standard Thunderhammer, ×2 strength. -3 AP, 3 damage. There's no minus to your hitting. So you're on 2s to hit with that Thunderhammer. That's excellent. Or there's Angel's Wing, which I think is be very helpful. Jump pack model only, which he is. You can reroll failed charge rolls, very, very helpful. And no Overwatch against them as well. So difficult choice between those 2. So there's that there as well. Yeah, and then Gift of Foresight here. Roll a d6 each time Warlord loses a wound. On a 6th, wound is ignored. If your Warlord has Black Rage, it becomes 5s or 6s instead, so increasing his durability as well. All of that stacked up is pretty good. And you're looking at, I calculated about 129 points for all of that, so bargain. So that was my incentive here for constructing this unique model. So here he is, just here. So what I'm going to do is some size, and it's a combination of Age of Sigmar and also 40k. I've merged the parts together to make this Smash Captain here for the Blood Angels. I'm going to zoom in here so you can take a closer look. So I'll zoom in even closer in just a moment. I'm just going to let you see the whole model. I wanted a model that had height to it, so you can see him jumping right up. And I also wanted one that was a high impact, and these wings, they're glorious wings here. I'm really happy with how it's come out. And I've still kept the Blood Angels jump pack here on the back. So it's a merger between Age of Sigmar parts being used here, and then also spare bits from my Blood Angels bits box. And I've been working on the base here as well. I didn't want to go too over the top, but I just added in some skulls, some broken tank parts, a bolter just there as well. You can see Thunderhammer, Storm Shield for his equipment. So the parts that I've used here is from the Age of Sigmar. It's the Stormcast Eternals, and it's the Prosecutors. It's sort of the jump pack equivalent for the Stormcast Eternals. The box set's quite expensive to buy, so I got an individual model from eBay for about £6 or £7. I got it from France actually, sent across, and so that was very cheap to do that, just buying the one model. And then on eBay you'll see there's different poses available, so you just choose the one that you want to have. I chose this one here and I'm pretty happy with how it's come out. And then I used a few spare parts from spare Terminator bits. So here's a Terminator shield, Terminator Thunderhammer as well, also used. And then I also used parts from a Sanguinary Guard model from the Blood Angels set as well. So really it's just a Sanguinary Guardsman, Prosecutor for Age of Sigmar from the Stormcast Eternals, and a few spare Terminator bits also, and that can make a model just like this. And you can vary the pose around. This is the pose I've gone for, like he's descending or leaping, getting ready to charge into his next victim. But I just think the wings are utterly glorious. I don't think they look out of place. If there's any faction that can go really over the top with the wings and so on, it would be the Blood Angels. But I'll zoom in closer here so you can see the detail and which bits I've used to make up this model. So you can see I've used a bit of green stuff just to cover the gaps here. So the legs here are from the Stormcast Eternal. I kept them there because they're attached to these bits of parchment coming down. I didn't want to disrupt that, so I've kept that as it is. But then if you look at the Prosecutor, the feet are these armoured sort of pointy toe caps. So I cut those out and then just cut around the bottom of the armour here, and then use Sanguinary Guardsman feet just here. So it is Space Marine. You'd use any Space Marine, but it's Space Marine feet I've actually used there just to try and merge the two together. Now these parts here, if I paint this guy up gold, that's the colour scheme I'm going to go for, these parts should look fine here. You know, it's just a unique character of unique set of Captain power armour, so I can't see that being a problem. Then the two arms here, left and right, are from that Prosecutor. I love the lion heraldry here, and again I think that's going to fit with the Blood Angels, no problem at all. Then cut off the Prosecutor arm, and then just a spare Space Marine arm stuck in here. Then this Thunderhammer, it was actually part of a Terminator Thunderhammer arm, and so I cut off the cord and then cut off at the wrist just here, and then that actually stuck on quite nicely. So that from where the wrist is, the whole Thunderhammer, the hand and the cord, I then stuck onto that Space Marine arm and just tucked that all in. That seems to have come out pretty good. I'm happy with that result. I didn't want a chunky Terminator arm on a Captain who's just got regular power armour. Then for the shield, there's different shield options available. There's a squarer version here. I took this Sergeant's Storm Shield here from regular Space Marine Assault Terminators set. The top of the arm here, all the way down actually to the wrist, is just the original arm from the Prosecutor, and just at the wrist there. The shield for the Terminator already comes with the hand in place, and so I just stuck that on. No problem. So again, like Space Marine hands and so on here, Space Marine arm, feet, so that, you know, he's still got that Space Marine look, which I thought was very important. So the body here, you can see the chest, front part, and this visor around the front here, around his neck. That's all from the Sanguinary Guardsman. That torso is from there, and then a little bit of green stuff. You notice that the hips here are wider on the Prosecutor. It's a bigger model, and so when I stuck the torso on, I used some green stuff just to fill that in. But I think proportionately looks okay. I've got away with it all right. Then it was difficult choices. Do I go for bare head, or you can use one of the Sanguinary Guardsman heads, you know, the enclosed helmet with the crest running along the top. They all looked really good. I went for the bare head in the end, which I think looks all right. But equally, you could use one of the Sanguinary Guardsman helmets as well. Then onto the wings here. Just the standard jump pack that comes with the Sanguinary Guard set. Stuck that on. That goes onto his back, no problem at all. Bit of cleaning up and preparing for that to be glued on, but that's gone on fine. And then the wings here come separate anyway, and then I just clean them up on the ends, and then they actually stick in there. Real nice. Didn't have to do too much work to them at all. Just a nice bit of glue, and then just push them in, held them in position, and they've actually stuck there nice and solid. So a brilliant fit for those. But look at these wings. The work on those. And it's not too Warhammer sort of look to it. I think I'm going to go golden edging around here, and then white for all of this along here. I think it should look great, but it's not too Warhammer. I think it looks okay, so I'm happy enough with that. You can imagine a captain being granted a unique set of armour here, and I think I've justified that alright for 40k. Now, one thing I did remove actually was the sort of Stormcast Eternal symbol on this shoulder pad. I've scraped that off and removed it, and I'm then free to use perhaps a Blood Angels transfer of some kind, or just keep it plain gold. We'll have to see, but I've kept that nice and plain and removed that from there. But that's how I constructed him here. That's giving you all the details of how I put this model together. So there he is. I'll just rotate him around. I think he looks great from the side. He's leaning ahead here, like he's taking a great leap, whether he's landing or just jumping off. Just that nice motion here to the model, and the wings are angled just nicely, like he's propelling himself forwards. Didn't want flat wings. I wanted them arched and set at an angle, and then around the back here as well. Look at it. I'm just really happy with how it's come out. I was partially inspired by an image I saw on the internet of someone who'd done something similar to this. So whenever you do conversions, I always Google it first of all to see what other modelers have done, and you really can get some great ideas. I did it for my old battle wagons I converted, and I used def copters, made them into orc buggies and so on. That was all inspiration that came from what other modelers had done, so credit to those who have already done similar projects like this. But there he is from that side. One thing I did do, actually, I forgot to mention, I put this part of the tank spare bits here from Rhino, and then the base that he comes on, the plastic there, I actually arched that, leant the model back and glued it in, because the angle was too steep. He was leaning miles too ahead, he was right tipped over, and so the base here, when I glued it in, I angled it and set him further back just to let him arch up a little bit. But you can choose whichever angle you want to set him at, no problem at all. But you can use the base you can adjust the base to do that. So there he is. That's the view from the front. That's just giving you an idea what it looks like. Keep a look out for him. This is going to be a fair bit down the line. There's a good number of battle reports the Blood Angels have already filmed for both of the channels. So this is an addition to come later on down the line. But if you want to follow along with the progress of this model, then check me out on Instagram, and you'll see updates there, sneak peeks of all sorts of projects going on, and updates what's been finished, fresh from the painting desk, new projects on the way and so on, and you get to see the progress of this model as well. If you want to see the new Blood Angels list, and indeed leave your own comments and feedback and help shape and form this new Blood Angels army, along with all the other armies I'm developing on the Plus channel. Battle reports on there, a good number of the Blood Angels battle reports will be on the Plus channel as well. Then check out the Plus channel, link to it in this video description here. There's a link to it as well on my channel homepage on YouTube, strikingscorpion82plus.vhx.tv. And if you like the work I do, you can support me by subscribing to that channel, and then as a reward you get access to all of the content on there, all the battle reports and exclusive videos available on that channel. There it is. That's the update then for this project. Keep a look out for him. Can't wait to use him in games, but I've got to paint him first, so keep a look out on Instagram for further updates on this exciting project. There he is. Keep a look out for the captain in the future. He's on his way. He is not named yet as well, by the way. I should have mentioned to you. He needs a name. Would like a name ideally with the word slam in there somewhere. So Captain Slamguinius is a bit obvious, but if you can think of a name with the word slam in it, Slam Dunk, well, not really, but Captain, I'll be looking for inspiration. I haven't decided on a name yet, and if someone comes up with a really, really good name, then I'll name him so, and I'll call him that in the future battle reports. So there it is. That's the video. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.